From Assam, Lachit listened. He nodded. In the year 1671, the Mughal Empire ruled almost the entire subcontinent of India. From Kabul in the west to Bengal in the east, Aurangzeb's banners flew over fortress after fortress. Only one small kingdom in the far northeast had not been conquered. It was called Ahom, and it sat in the valley of the Brahmaputra river, in what we now call Assam. The Ahoms had been ruling there for almost 500 years, ever since their ancestors had crossed the eastern hills from the Shan country. They had fought off the Mughals 17 times already. This time, Aurangzeb decided, would be the last. The Ahom king, Chakradhwaj Singha, knew what was coming. The Mughals were sending their finest commander, the Rajput general Ram Singh of Amba, with 100,000 troops, war elephants, and a Mughal navy of 400 boats up the Brahmaputra. The Ahom kingdom could field at most 40,000 men. Most of the Ahom commanders advised the king to surrender. The king sat in his chamber for many days. He came out and announced his choice of supreme commander. The man he chose was 39 years old. He had served briefly as the keeper of the royal stables. He had no real military fame. His name was Lachit Barphukan. The court was scandalized. Why this man? Why not a senior general? The king said quietly, because Lachit will not run. The other commanders may. And the king turned out to be right. Lachit accepted the command. He did not ask for a salary. He did not ask for a parade. He went immediately to the river bank, where the Ahom navy of small wooden boats was anchored, and he began to walk among the soldiers, one by one, learning their names. He slept in the field with them. He ate the same rice. The army began to love him. Within weeks, an army that had been demoralized was an army that would die for him. Lachit was particularly concerned about the defenses at a key fort on the river. He sent his maternal uncle to oversee the construction of the fortifications. He gave him strict orders. Have the wall completed in one night. His uncle, after a long day of supervising the work, allowed his men to rest. He let the wall stand half-built. When Lachit arrived the next morning and saw the unfinished wall, he did not shout. He did not lecture. He drew his sword. And in front of the assembled soldiers, he beheaded his own uncle, by his own hand, on the half-built wall. He said one sentence, "My uncle is not greater than my motherland." The army was stunned into silence. After that, no one in his command ever delayed a single order. The Mughal armies advanced into Ahom territory. They captured fort after fort along the river. They were now only a few miles from Guwahati. Lachit had organized the final defense at a place called Saraighat, where the Brahmaputra narrows between two hills and a chain of small islands. It was a perfect place for a small navy to ambush a larger one. But on the eve of the battle, Lachit fell sick. He had been suffering from a slow fever for many weeks. On the night before the Great River engagement, the fever became so severe that he could barely stand. His commanders begged him to remain in his tent. They said, "General, the battle is in our hands. You must rest. We will lose if you die today." Lachit listened. He nodded. He said nothing. Then he had himself dressed in armor. He had himself helped onto a small ceremonial boat. He had himself rowed out into the middle of the Brahmaputra. The Mughal warships were advancing in their long disciplined line. The Ahom navy, in small light boats, was hesitating. The men on the Ahom boats saw their general's boat in the center of the river, a sick man, swaying with fever, holding his sword up with both hands. He called out across the water in a voice that the wind carried for miles. He said, "My king has trusted me with his kingdom. My mother has trusted me with her name. How can I run away? If I am to die, I will die here, on this river. You may run if you wish." No one ran. The Ahom navy charged. The fight on the river that day, the 3rd of October, 1671, lasted from dawn to evening. The Mughal navy, twice the size, was caught between the two hills and the small Ahom boats. The narrow channel that the Mughals had assumed was their advantage became their trap. The Ahom boats slipped between them, struck, and disappeared. Mughal warships ran aground. The Mughal commander Ram Singh, watching from his flagship, said later that he had never seen river fighting like this. By evening, the Mughal navy was destroyed. Their general retreated overland. The greatest empire in India had been defeated by a fever-sick man and his fishing boat navy. Lachit Borphukan died less than a year later, in 1672. His fever had never truly left him. He was buried in the village of Hojai. The Ahom kingdom survived independent for another 150 years after his death, the longest of any Indian kingdom that never fell to the Mughals. In the present day, every cadet at the National Defence Academy of India studies the Battle of Saraighat. The best graduating cadet each year receives a gold medal called the Lachit Borphukan Gold Medal. It is given for leadership. It is given to remind every Indian officer of the sick general on the small boat in the middle of the wide river, who looked at the largest empire on earth and would not move. Tomorrow's story comes from another corner of India. Subscribe to walk with us through the folklore of every region, in your language.